Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock tutorial. As you might have noticed from the thumbnail and title from this video, and you might have noticed what something very big and complex is behind me, is I have done it. I have created a single small non-stackable item filter for every single non-stackable item in the game. Now, if you don't know, there's non-stackable items in the games, and what this basically means is you cannot put two of them in one single item. This makes sorting them super difficult. But, you know, super difficult is my middle name. Yeah. So right here, as you can see, I have made a very small, simple, well, complex contraption that can sort all these items. So not only does it sort non-stackable, it also sorts all your stackable items in this first barrel too. So you have that, you have your shulkers, your potions or water bottles or anything like that. Then we have our records or music disc, boats. Then we have all our water, lava, and flint and steels. And this one, I've even added an additional barrel here for you to have more space. But if you guys need more space, you can feel free to turn these barrels into double chests facing out, or just extend this into a big sorting system. You know, turn it into a big silo. Whatever you guys need, whatever you guys want, this is compatible with. Now, we also have our shears, minecarts, and then in this end, we have, well, we have some non-stackable items. So, in case you didn't know, some things like armor and tools, those are not quite yet sortable, at least not in Bedrock. It's a really awesome sorter by Mizuma Games that can sort armor, but sadly, we cannot do that in Bedrock. I tried for days, but that didn't work. So we're just going to pretend that those items don't exist. We'll just erase those from existence, and we'll just say that we have made all non-stackable items sorted right here in this tiny space. So this is counting our stackable items and then counting our junk. We have 11 items into these chests, and this is 11 wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then it is 5 wide. I mean, look at this baby. And then it's only 7 tall, and that's coming from these bottom blocks. Now there is a couple more blocks down below. This is an on-off switch. Again, that's optional, but if you want to avoid lag or anything getting breaking, this is a simple thing to add. And then these 2 blocks here, this is just for decoration, so you can see what each chest sorts. So don't worry about those 2. And then the only other thing you have to note when building this is I did not count the walls. So over here, you'll see I've used some barrier blocks to mark these walls. These are, if you don't have blocks here, there's a chance that an item could fly out. Actually, there's a pretty good chance with this dispenser here. But anyhow, you would need to put some sort of blocks here, glass, solid, doesn't matter, just to stop items from flying out. You're going to need some sort of power block here to power this rail there. And then the only other place you need one is right here to avoid lava or water to fall on your head when you're waiting for your non-stackable items to be sorted. But anyhow, that is it, guys. Now, if you want to list to all the materials you're going to need in order to build this, or you prefer to look at an actual visual copy of this, I will have a world download map in the description of this video, along with, like I said, a material list for everything. So please quickly pause the video and go down there and check it out. And also, if you guys enjoy this video or like it, do what I just said, like it, subscribe, and let's start the tutorial. Alright, so before we begin, I want to quickly remind you one last time to make sure you have an 11 long, 5 wide, 7 tall area, and then make sure, before we begin, to also put in your 8 barrels, and then your 1 double chest, just like so. And then I went ahead and labeled them with their color-coded blocks, so you can more easily see where we are when building each system. Now, this first system we're going to build, I actually have already done a video on this, and so I will have that linked on the screen right now if you want to check that out. If you just need to sort out stackable shulker boxes and then non-stackable items. Now, I am further elaborating this on this machine, but it's a great way to start out because it's a super fast and very reliable. Like, this is one of the only completely reliable stackable item sorters here on Minecraft Bedrock. So we are going to end up building that first. So coming up from these 3 barrels, we'll have hopper going up. And now, instead of doing more hoppers going up, we are going to save a little bit of iron and just put barrels here. So we'll put 2 barrels like this. And then right here, instead of putting a barrel, we will have a brewing stand. Now the brewing stand will have a hopper going into it. We will have another barrel. and then we will have a hopper going into that barrel, and then another hopper going to the barrel. So all of them have the barrels, but this one just has a broom stand right here. Now we are going to go up one more, but here we're going to have a shulker box, and then we'll have 2 hoppers going into that shulker box. We can put our double chest like this, and then you can put all your items in here, and this will sort out all your stackable, and then it will start working on your non-stackable items. Alright, now that you have put the chest in, or barrel, or whatever you guys want, I'm going to take down this measuring tape so we can start putting in the actual redstone. So coming off of this hopper here, we are going to want a comparator, and this will go into more redstone dust, and it's going to come around in kind of an L shape. So right here, it'll come down, and then this one needs to be glass. So just like so, and that's going to go into a block. Now coming out of the same hopper, we are going to have another comparator, and this is going to go into another reparator, and this comparator is going to be on subtract mode, and that's going to have a furnace on this end. Now in this furnace, we are going to put half a stack of any item you want. This will never be in the system, so just make sure it's an item you don't care about. And then right here we'll put a block, and then right here we will put another piece of redstone dust. And with that, we have finished our first sorter. So any item you put in here, it will sort out your stackable to your non-stackable. Now to work on our shulker box sorter, try saying that 10 times fast, we will put a block here, and then we'll have another comparator here. This comparator is going to be on subtract mode, and that will also have a furnace going into it with, again, half a stack. Now coming off of this comparator, we will have a torch, and then right below here we will have another repeater on 3 ticks, and then we will have dust. And just like that, you have finished the next sorter. So now working on to our final of the 3, we have our potion system. This will sort out potions and water bottles. So this is a very important one, especially if you have a witch farm or anything like that. So we are going to be taking off of this hopper. We are going to have a comparator output like this. It's a little difficult to get into, but we'll come right here. Comparator facing out. That's going into a block. Then we'll have torch. And then right here we will have redstone dust. And then we don't want that to redirect, so we'll put another solid block here. That will stop that. And then we will come right around here on the other side, put 2 more blocks, and we'll have redstone dust, and then we'll have a repeater also on 3 ticks. And just like that, you have finished the potion sorting system. Now, if you were to try this right now, it wouldn't necessarily work, and that's because after we get past the shulker box sorter, everything needs to work at a slower speed. And so the entire system has to run on a clock, and that's what this dark green block's for. This, again, like I said in the intro, is our on and off switch, where we can toggle whether the system will work on or off. Now, all the items will be stuck in this shulker box, so if you put in more than a shulker box of non-stackable items, just be aware that if this shulker box overflows into the next one, you will have non-stackable items flowing into this barrel. If that happens, just put them back in the system, and they should eventually get through, but just be aware that is one slight flaw with this system, is there is a certain speed it has to operate at, and you cannot operate it any faster. So right here, we'll put a block and dust. Like I said, this is where the entire thing is going to operate from, and then right here, we'll have a sticky piston going into a block, and another sticky piston, and then we'll have a comparator on top. So this is how our on or off switch is going to work. When it goes on, the block's there. When it goes off, the block gets removed, avoiding this piston from ever getting powered again. And anytime that happens, all the items will just stay into this shulker box, so don't worry about turning it off and forgetting to turn it back on when you put items in the system. It is foolproof, so you can't actually break it. Now, before we finish the timer, we first need to work on the hoppers. So right here, we are sorting our potions or water bottles, our shulkers, and then our stackable items. But where do the items that are not any of those 3 go? And that's what we need to figure out right now. So all those are going to go to an item elevator right here at the back corner of our what is it, a rectangle? shapes. Very difficult to memorize. I don't know shapes very well. So right here we are going to have a hopper line coming straight in, and we'll just do this in a straight line. So 3 hoppers like that, and then we'll have another 3 coming in like that. And then if we get above this block, we can just put a hopper going straight in like that, and that hopper should be locked because you put a repeater there on 3 ticks. Once you have that in, we can finish working on the timer. So we'll put a redstone block here, and we'll have 2 hoppers facing into each other, like so. Once you have that, we are going to have a repeater on 4 ticks, and this is going to have another repeater, and then we'll have another block, and then from this repeater we will also have 4 ticks, and then we'll have a block, and then we'll have, you can guess it, another repeater, and this repeater's on 4 ticks. We'll have dust, and then we'll have another repeater, and both these are also on 4 ticks. It's going to go into a block, and underneath this block we'll have dust, and then we'll have another 2 repeaters, and like you guessed it, both these repeaters are going to be on 4 ticks. Now, in these hoppers, we are going to put 7 of any item you want. It doesn't matter what it is, it will never be seen from again. And by doing this, we have created a simple clock here that will slow it down so there's an item going through in about every 3 or so seconds. And this will let one item come through this hopper, like I said, every 3 or so seconds. So you can see this will turn off and then turn back on right away, only letting one item go through. So with that, we have started creating some noise. And so again, like I said, you have a switch here to turn it off at any time you want. And how that does it is it will simply pull down this sticky piston with the block, so this piston can never get powered from again, but it's going to leave the redstone block here. And in doing so, this redstone dust will always stay on because there's always items in here, and that will make sure that the system doesn't break itself if you put items in and this is off. Okay, so next, before we actually start on the item elevator, we need to figure out where the elevator is going, which means we are going to be working on none other than the music disc. Now, this is one of the special things about Bedrock, is in Bedrock we can actually sort out music discs. And how that is so is if we have a jukebox and then a hopper, and then we take a music disc and put it in the hopper, guess what happens? It goes into the jukebox and it actually plays it. So when this machine goes, if you have any jukeboxes in the system, then the entire thing will start playing the jukebox, and then when the jukebox is actually done playing its song, it will be sucked up by a hopper underneath it. So by using that, we are going to have a hopper line coming right around. We'll have a barrel right here. We will have another hopper going up, and then right here we will have our jukebox. From that, we'll have a hopper coming out, and then a hopper going down. Now, anytime that there is a music disc, it will go into the jukebox. And anytime there is not, it will go into this mini item elevator we are putting right here. So it's just going to be 2 droppers going up, and we'll put a hopper going right back in. Now, in order to make sure that this happens slowly and that there's time, we're going to be using the same redstone dust that we used in order to lock this hopper to lock the next one by just putting a block right there. And like that, you'll see that this hopper is locked, and so if there's any items in here, it will stay there, giving it time to go into the jukebox first before continuing on its path. Now, in order to actually activate this elevator, we are going to have a observer, and then one more, and then on top of here we'll have dust. And just like that, that entire item elevator will work. So now if we come around to the back side where we have this, our beginning of our item elevator, we can actually construct this elevator to take it up to the first place, so we can actually test whether it is a music disc or not. So in order to do that, we are going to come from this dropper, come around the back side, put a redstone comparator, block, then right here we will have dust, then we'll have an observer facing into this dropper. And guys, it just occurred to me now that this doesn't actually need to be a dropper, it can be a full block. If you want it to be a dropper, it will work. If you want to be a full block, it will work. But that was just my bad, guys, so just switch out to a full block and you'll save a little bit of redstone resources. Now coming up here, we'll just do observer, dust, and then we'll have upward facing droppers coming all the way up to the top, And then when we're almost up at the top, we'll have a sideways facing dropper. Now we'll just take our hopper line from this spot and come all the way along like this. And just come along like this. Now if I break this and I come all the way down the bottom, I can test to see if this works. I'll put it in, come all the way up to the top, and you'll see it came up pretty quickly. And it's not perfectly silent, but the entire machine makes a lot of noise when working, so I didn't think that was too much of an issue. Then we can just reconnect it, and we got this part done. Now next on our list is the boat. Now the boat's an odd one. It is very big and bulky, so we need to keep it on the outer edge, but with how the other machines work, the barrel is all the way over here. So we're going to build that one right now because it's at the bottom, and then the other ones are going to come in this slot right here. So it's going to be more of a roundabout hopper line coming in like that. And then the boat is also where if any item does not actually go into the boat, then that means we can't actually sort it. So it's just going to go into this chest right here. So then right here we are going to have a dispenser coming in like that. And then from the dispenser we will have a comparator going into a block with dust on top of it. And then we'll have an observer and then another block. And this will simply create a hopper clock, so any item that goes in, it will fire, and then if it goes up, it's a boat. If it doesn't, then it's not a boat. So then right here is where we're going to have our cactus. This is how we're actually breaking the boat, and we're also using this cactus to break the minecart at the same time, so it's a double purpose cactus. So then right here we are going to have a solid block, stop water from going out, and then we are going to have 2 walls. This doesn't have to be cobblestone, it can be any type of wall you want. And then right here we are also going to have a barrel. So this barrel is going to be part of the hopper line that goes into this dispenser, but it also needs to be a barrel because we need to put a ladder here. This will stop the water from flowing out. And with that, you guys have finished building the boat sorter. So with just putting a block right here to stop the water from leaking out, we can put water there and then a flowing water here. This will allow the boat to spawn right here, but it will force it forward where it will get hit by the cactus, and then the water will push it into one of these 2 hoppers. Alright, now we have the final 3 barrels left to go. We have the water buckets, lava buckets, flint and steels, which just because of the mechanics and how they work, they are all going in the same barrel. Then we have shears, and then we have our minecarts. Now we're going to first work on getting our shears separated from our water buckets, lava buckets, and flint and steels. And that's going to work using a dispenser. So this is going to come right around here, like so. And then underneath this we will have a solid block with a comparator. Now on the other side of this, we will also have a second comparator coming out from the dispenser. And then from this side, we will have a observer that will have a block, which we will have a repeater on 4 ticks going into another block with torch, and then underneath that torch we will have dust, like so, and then we will have right here a repeater on 2 ticks. Now coming out of this other comparator, we will have a block with a sticky piston. And then from the sticky piston, we are going to have 2 observers. We're going to have one facing out, and then we're going to have one facing in. And this is going to create an infinite clock. And just like that, we have turned off the clock. Now pay really close attention when placing these hoppers, because this is where it will decide whether the system will work or not. So we're going to have a hopper going into the chest with the shears, and then another hopper going up. And then for this side, we'll have a hopper going in. We will have a barrel here, just to save some iron, and it'll give us more storage. And this is where I really recommend you have a barrel, because that way you have storage here and here for your 3 biggies, which is where a lot of this sorting is going to take place and happen. And then we'll have a hopper going down, hopper going to the side, and then a hopper going straight down. So down, this will go left, so it's trying to push left, but if it can't, it will go straight down for the shears. Now how we are actually able to do this is with observers. So anytime that water gets spit out of this dispenser, the observer will detect it. And then if you're asking, well then why is there flint and steel? Well, for some reason, even when flint and steel doesn't make a flame, the observer can still see it. So we're just going to roll with that. Then from this observer, we will have a solid block. Then this can be a solid or a glass block, but if you're going to change these barrels to chest, or if you just don't want to craft so many barrels and these are already in chest, put a glass block there. That way you can still open up the chest, and we'll have a repeater on 4 ticks going into a block with a piece of redstone dust. And then now, in order to redirect this redstone dust, we are going to need a target block. Now, when putting that in, I also just realized I forgot to place in 1 block here. So just make sure that there are 2 blocks both on top of the walls. Otherwise, the boat could jump out and not actually get picked up by the hopper. And then put your target block right there, like so. Okay, guys, so I'm editing this video right now, and I just realized I made a big mistake. I forgot to mention where this stinking dropper goes. This dropper goes to this dispenser, so if we just put a hopper line, just like so, that will complete the entire system. So, yeah. Sorry guys, I totally forgot about that. Continue on with the video. Now it's time to work on the minecart system. So, we are going to come right around to this repeater, and we are going to put a dispenser there, and then we'll have 4 hoppers just coming into that dispenser, like so, right around. And then right here is where you need to put in 2 glass blocks here. This is to stop the dispenser from firing anything elsewhere than right into that hopper, or to just put the water right there and it'll sit. And then this is also where, in creative, I use barrier blocks, but if you want a more decorative solution than a full block, you just need some sort of something right here that will stop the dispenser from firing items over, and that will stop water and lava both from accidentally being fired on top of your head out here when you're waiting for your items to sort. Then coming back around to this dispenser, we are going to put a block under it. That's to stop the boats from coming up too high. And then on top of this torch, we'll put a block. And then right here is where we're going to have 1 more observer facing down. And that will go into a block. And then right here, we will have redstone dust. That's going to fire this dispenser every time the blue system goes. And that will help keep things circulating through the system. Now, in order to make sure that if it doesn't fire a minecart, it will always go to the right place, we are going to have to put 3 hoppers. 1, 2, 3. So even if it fires really crazy this way, it will still always make it its way into the final dispenser. Now coming from here, we are going to have 2 rails, and then we'll put a redstone block right here to power them from above. And then following the track, it will come down right here where it will land, and where it will break against this cactus, which is where all the items will flow through the hoppers into the barrel. Now, in order to power this rail, because it doesn't need to be powered, you need some sort of power source on the outside. It's easy just to put a redstone block, but it doesn't have to be. And then, of course, you want to put some sort of blocks here, solid or glass, to make sure that the minecart stays in this little track area. And with that, you guys have finished the entire system. So I have a barrel right here with everything that the thing sorts, including 2 things it doesn't sort. And we're going to put this right at the top and see if the entire thing will work. Now, before you go, this doesn't work, make sure that you always remember to turn it back on. That's an important thing in order to make sure that it will work. So, alright, now that I have let the system run, I'm going to quickly shut it off. And a quick look around will show me if we got everything done. Shulker. Potions. We got our music disc. We got our boats. We got our barrel with all our lava buckets, water buckets, flint and steel. Shears. We got our minecarts. And we got our swords, which we can't sort. There we go, guys. We have finished making this. If you guys enjoyed, please hit the like button. And if you really enjoyed, hit the subscribe button. And please hit the like button. I spent weeks on this, and I would really appreciate it if you guys did so. And if you have any suggestions for any future videos, let me know down in the comments as well. And I'll see you all on the next video.